Yo, what is going on, everybody? This your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and we are back for another episode of Talking Movies. And I am joined by my favorite co-host, Varangian Vigilante. How are you doing, sir?
Very well. This week I have slept enough. And turns out last week I was not only tired, I was also sick. But I'm healthy again. I feel healthy again, feel good again. And I have way more energy than last week.
It's funny, I was just coming off of being sick, and then you got sick without even knowing.
And I didn't even have an idea that I was sick. I was just, I thought I was tired from the train and everything. But turns out then the next day, like, we almost missed like the 10 p.m. because we're already passionately talking about both movies backstage.
Yeah, these movies, Cleopatra Jones and then Cleopatra Jones and the Casino of Gold, both came out in 1973 and 1975, starring 6'2" dynamite Tamara Dobson.
Unbelievable.
Sister girl, man, watching her, and we briefly mentioned this last week about, when we talked briefly about Max Julian, because he written the screenplay and the story of this, and he wanted Vanessa McGee to play the role of Cleopatra Jones, and we love Vanessa McGee.
Absolutely, we do.
But I think they went with the right choice of Tamara Dobson because she had not only the fitness model, the model body of the day, the height advantage, 6'2", an imposing figure for a woman. She was, the Guinness World Record had her as the first tallest female in the movie, and she carried well in these two films.
Absolutely. And also like her sense for aesthetics of she did her own makeup.
Yep.
And it looks fantastic. And the other thing is what I really love about the movie, and what I also think would really shine if they would like do a remastered version of it, even like maybe in 4K with HDR colors, is that one of her demands to the movie was that like a genuine designer is gonna design her dresses that she wears in the movies, and every time she appears in a different scene, like she steals the show, not only with her presence, but also with her fashion.
Yeah, her fashion sense was just off the chain. Like she was the first one of the blaxploitation ever to really exploit fashion. Like every scene she came in with something new on, and it just stood out. And I know like they made the comparisons to James Bond with her being the agent, and which is why, before we went live, I was like, this was a missed opportunity to turn this into a franchise.
In a big franchise.
We could have explored more of her secret agent stuff. We saw it when she went to Japan, and we could have seen more of her exploring the world.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been really fantastic. Personally, I think for that, and also that is backstage, both movies I very much enjoyed. I enjoyed the second movie more because I just love Hong Kong and Macau settings. I love, I just love it, and but it's like I think the director, these movies could have been a little bit better in editing. Especially the first one feels a little bit like loosely connected scenes, which I don't have a problem sometimes. But both movies had such a fantastic premise. They're so enjoyable that I was thinking, hey, what could have been done so there could have been like a bigger success. So this would have turned into like a 4, 5, 6 more movie franchise, because everything you need was there. The whole world has drug problems, and she declared like war on drugs. So there's so many possibilities, from from going to South America directly, or to go maybe to like Czech Republic. There's there's so many truck
So
hotspots
many.
in the world.
I
Way
mean,
too many.
the first movie starts out in Turkey,
Yeah.
and she's there to destroy a poppy field that's leading cause of drugs in America. And just her presence, everybody, all the soldiers that's there
Yeah.
are in awe of her presence.
Yeah, she
because of how
immediately
she's
had.
dressed.
Yeah, she immediately had like an aura of authority. When she came there and she's like, blow it up, and no questions there.
No
Like
question that even the guy's like, damn, $30 million.
million.
And she said, destroy it.
Yeah.
And he just got on the radio, called in the airstrike, and they blew up all those poppy.
And already got a great action scene right in the beginning. In general, both movies have great action scenes, from shootouts to car chases. In the second one, even to sword fights and kung fu action. But I personally think for like an agent movie, we mentioned James Bond, I think they could have put like maybe a little bit more gimmicky stuff, like secret agent stuff in there to make
I
it
think
more.
if they would have gotten past the second movie, they would have employed more of that. I like the fact that it wasn't like forced onto us in these movies. Like they like, oh, let's go with the gimmicky route and have all this stuff like James Bond does. Like, no, let's see the character build up and develop herself as her own fighter. And then if they would have went past the second movie, we would have gotten some of them gadgets.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not disagreeing with you there. I was just thinking about stuff like that the mainstream audience would have accepted the franchise more, because there was Warner Brothers money behind it, and hey, Perry.
What up, Perry?
And especially for a blaxploitation movie, the first movie had like a very high budget, and it also shows like in a very good way. Like for example, like this awesome chase through the canal with the Corvette, which of course also like Terminator 2 has chosen later to have the chase in there.
That Stingray Corvette was just a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
And a thing, the opening title card and the theme song of Cleopatra Jones. I remember when I watched Boys in the Hood and Compton's Most Wanted had the song Growing Up in the Hood. And then I watched Cleopatra Jones and I was like, holy shit, that's the same beat that Compton's Most Wanted used for Boys in the Hood. That theme song is fucking amazing. That shit, the beat, the arrangements, Joe Simon singing his ass off, fantastic. And they say every good superhero needs a great theme. And Cleopatra Jones have a banger theme.
Yeah, I think that the first movie is superior in soundtrack, like for the soundtrack, than the second movie. I think the second movie actually, right with the end credits, they start to having like a proper soundtrack. But with the setting, I really wish that the second movie would have had more like an Oriental sound, like an Eastern, especially since Shaw Brothers also was co-producing the second one. But we're getting a lot of awesome martial arts action. Also, it's great. We have getting different kinds of action, because real life in the first one, it's also like the shootouts, especially when she chased from the gun to the full automatic. I mean, I love in the Corvette when you like all the weapons.
The action scenes in the first movie was more like grounded, and then the second movie is like that Oriental kung fu style. And it's like you go from two different styles of action. We don't know what we could have gotten in future movies.
Yeah, because she functions in both environments so well.
And she just carries herself that to the point where she sticks out the most. Like, you can't deny that her 6'2" frame, the way she dresses, it's like everybody is looking at her, and she knows it.
And the great thing that I liked with the first movie, like I say, is like she can't really hide. So I also love when the way she sneaks back into, because she knows that people are out there to kill her. from Mummy. So when she comes back from Turkey, like from the beginning of the movie, then she immediately like tricks the two goons.
Yeah, she tricks them.
And I absolutely love this scene that, you know, when she wastes them both, and then the police comes to arrest her, and she's like,
which is something we need to
secret agent, like diplomatic immunity. No,
yeah,
secret agent license.
And she just walked out, and they look like can't do nothing. I like when the villains was keeping the tail on her, and then like, well, where's she at? And I don't know. I lost her in the crowd. I'm like, how you lose her? She's dressed elegantly, and you lose her.
No wonder Mommy wasted her own men later.
Bro, Mommy she was pissed that her whole organization, all the poppy leaves got destroyed, because that was her source of drugs to sell to the streets. And then she was pissed that they didn't get Cleopatra Jones. She started wailing on the homeboy.
Yeah. I mean, both movies have fantastic villains.
Oh, yeah. Like, I would give the edge to Dragon Lady because she's the superior fighter. But Mommy was, like, entertaining, like, in her own different, unique way. She's always berating her henchmen, but then when her female assistant come with a drink, you're so beautiful. You always know what Mommy likes. Every time. And the henchmen roll their eyes. Like, oh.
Yeah. I have both like very memorable villains. I also love that because when Cleopatra's like, no way, fatso.
No way.
Fat. Hey, Kenneth.
And the underlying theme of the first Cleopatra Jones film is you got Bernie Casey, you know, he has an organization, building where he's helping the youth get off the drugs and recover from the drugs that Mommy is peddling out in the neighborhoods, while also has a background in revolutionary tactics. You know, push come to shove, they will fight back. And I kind of wish we gotten a little bit more of that too, because it's an interesting subplot with her being in a relationship with a man that's helping the community.
Personally, I think why we didn't get it is because it's like a Warner Brothers movie, and I think they wanted to keep like that topic a little bit tamer.
Yeah.
I think that also ends like with a scene like of the good white cop in the end. So I think that yeah. So like in some scenes I can really see that, you know, Warner Brothers wanted to play safe and not use sample exploitation tropes in order to gain like a wider audience.
Yeah, because they wanted to put the more focus on Cleopatra, which is perfectly fine. But you know, at certain points, like after they made love, her and Ruben made love, we don't see him again until the very end when he shows up to help out. And I feel like it goes back to what you're saying about the director. And it's like there's certain parts in the film that's like patched together, and it doesn't work. Like you still want to see some parts of that side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this could have been an even better movie with different editing. But one of the strong points of the movies, you know, we already mentioned, you know, the awesome protagonist, the really fantastic, you know, I wouldn't say like sidekick, but like Ruben is a really fantastic like second guy, like for the good guys in the movie, but also like we already mentioned the really astonishing like evil Mommy. But what's taking this movie even better is, of course, we have Antonio Fargas like as an underling that then also goes against Mommy, and Antonio Fargas, he just makes every movie better.
We talked about him in Foxy Brown,
and of course in
I'm gonna get you sucker.
Yeah, just like I just had the German title in my head, Ghetto Busters.
But this movie showed how underrated of an actor he is. Like he when it comes to drama, he can act. But I feel like
Yes.
most people focus on the outrageous characters like Huggy Bear and some of the comedic stuff that he's done. But he can act. And him as
Absolutely.
Doodlebug, like you look past the name Doodlebug, he has himself a very fine establishment. His henchman ain't too smart, but he's got a fucking waiter. He's got a outfit in his whole building, and they make fun of that he's got an English butler.
I loved that one. That was fantastic.
Yeah, he's a character that really shined, and although like he went out in a terrible way, he went out his own way.
So and I think he's really the saving grace of the middle part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like where he truly shines, and when this movie like I say, it's like with the editing, with the direction, it's not always so clear. But it's basically when there's a movie within the movie when he resists Mommy and he tries to stand his turf and to fight like for his turf. So this is like the middle part. This is like what really saves it, especially in the scenes when Cleopatra is not like not even involved there. But yeah, like I said, that the scene where he finds his aunt is very well shot. On the other hand, he acts way too good because when he dies, he really has this look in his final moment that I don't want to go, and it's like it's almost this just like this almost like stops the movie, and you think about like death is cruel.
and you feel a little sympathy because he broke away from Mommy because he knows how Cleopatra Jones is. That's why I used the quote, "You are no match for that black lady," when he told Mommy that, because he knows how powerful Cleopatra Jones is.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm quitting being associated with you. And Mommy did not take that lightly.
Yeah.
And they gave him and his people, except his girlfriend Tiffany, who was able to escape.
Yeah, they still tried to get her, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to escape.
Cool ass kill scene with them.
Yeah, that one was.
And it catches you off guard the first time you watch it. Like, oh
yeah. Really, there was like technically this movie has like brilliant scenes in there. Like I said, the action scenes are all high quality. Which of course you don't see from all the blaxploitation movies because of budgeting reasons, but this movie put the money in the right places.
Yeah, they utilized the film because they knew they had something on their hands. They're like, there, let's throw some more money in the budget. You have the underlining of the territory system. Mommy has her territory, Doodlebug has his territory, and then you got some small time pusher who got his own territory, but he's trying to avoid certain situations. And I love the scene when Cleopatra Jones go and interrogate him because he is small and she is just towering over him, and like he tried to get the upper hand on her with a knife, but she quickly debunked that, and he is just like backing up, talking shit. He don't know this, he don't know that, and then Cleopatra just start going through his shit and found all the drugs. I like, yo, this man, you might as well just give her all the information because you just stand no chance. And she just owned that scene.
Yeah, there's only one reason. Like, is there? I think the camera work. I think with different angles, you could have even made more out of like the size difference of Cleopatra Jones and the others.
That was the only scene that really showcased it.
Yeah, so I think the camera work, that both movies look more like TV movies from the camera work than cinematic like blockbusters. So I also think with a different cameraman that would have been like a little bit more creative with camera shots, that the strengths of the movie could have even been more underlined.
I agree because you know her frame and stature is tall,
Yeah.
but that seemed like really highlight like yo, she is tall and imposing, and it's like, what do you do as a man? Like you already attacked her and lost. And one thing I love about Tamara Dobson, she really excelled. She tried to learn martial arts and she studied it in real life for the two roles.
Yeah, her movements are fluid.
Yeah, so she made sure to say, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to actually learn this trait, and she became a black belt in it. But that, yeah, like you can't do nothing against that. So
Yeah,
as a man, it's like you try and attack her, you fail, and she's this imposing figure. Just give her what she wants and let her
yeah.
lead.
You know, I've read some reviews that say that she acts wooden, but I completely disagree with those. She acts with a lot of self-esteem. That the character in her role actually like really that really benefits her character. So I
And
think
she
that
has charisma too.
absolutely, yeah, and like you also mentioned, that her devotion to that role,
I
that
mean,
the work she put in for that role, really shows on screen, and she is a star. And the only reason why she didn't break out was the Hollywood system, that she didn't want to play along because she had her values that she was not betraying. And for example, like she said, like she's doing no nude scenes, and I'm a fan of nude scenes, but also like you said, that her character didn't need that.
no, she didn't need that. And to the point out of the criticism of her acting wooden, I'm like,
Yeah,
man, we just talked a couple weeks ago on the Carl Weather stream. Hulk Hogan's acting in the Shadow
yeah,
Boys. That's wooden.
that's wood. Yeah,
That's wooden. There
that's
was
wood.
nothing wooden about Tamara
Entertaining, but
Dobson.
wouldn't. And no, like she's there's like no scene where she looks out of place.
And she just has this sexy charisma about herself that you just can't help but smile every time she talks in such a way. Like the kids admire her. Even the little Hong Kong kid
Yeah,
in the
like,
second film, he gave her a look and she like,
yeah,
I'll see you in about 25 years.
yeah. That was like a really fantastic callback from the first one, but like also like a black youth was there. They're like, really,
Yeah,
there's something about this Cleopatra.
yeah. It's like when the kids just looked up to her like in this adoration. It's like you're doing something like, and she was not wooden when she acted.
Exactly. She plays as a larger than life character with a high self-esteem, because she knows that when she gets like into like a problem, she can fight herself out of it. And this is also something I think what the second movie does way better than the first, because the second movie gives her like really like a proper sidekick from Hong
Yes.
Kong. This was a little bit missing in the first one. Like I said, Ruben was underutilized, but this is something they made way better in the second one. And I really love, when she meets her like Hien. What was the name again?
Me
Nitin, yeah. That I really enjoyed when they meet, when Cleopatra was looking for a taxi driver to bring you like in the bad sector of Hong Kong, and everybody was like, no, and then she, let me help you.
which in itself ended up being a whole big plan from her.
Yeah.
But back to the first one,
Yeah.
we talk about Ruben being underutilized. Part of that is because they took him out early in the film. When they tried to assassinate Cleopatra Jones, they shot Ruben and he got injured. I love when she waited for them to come down the elevator, and it's this old couple with one of them in the wheelchair, but he in the wig and stuff. They're like, oh, look at this shit. And then I love how smart she was. Like, she knew that they were faking it. So she just sit there, held her gun, waiting for them to turn around. As soon as they turn around, wham, took him out. And that's another thing. Like, Cleopatra Jones is very smart. She's not going to be somebody that you could take lightly when it comes to intelligence. When you're an agent, you got to be smart.
And of course, also witty. That's what we seen later when she was trying to get hold of like Tiffany to get information, of course, to also save her because they were out for her because they didn't want any loose ends. Mommy didn't want any loose ends, and like the scene like in the church was also fantastic. Like I think she acted here really great, like witty and there's a little bit like a little bit of irony. I really enjoyed that scene.
And that's the scene where we also find out that Sergeant Kent was the one that was a fucking traitor.
Yeah.
Because you had, at the beginning, they infiltrated the building that, Reuben and his people were set up. And lo and behold, they found the guy and they said, oh, he's still on the drugs. Oh, he wasn't clean. He's still on the drugs. And they planted the drugs on him. And
a classic cop move.
Classic cop move, especially when it comes to the inner city. They planted the drugs on him, and of course Officer Purdy is a complete scumbag, racist cop. He just wanted to start some shooting and
very, very trigger happy, right?
Yeah, he just wanted to start some shooting and shoot up black folk. And again, that's why later on, when Cleopatra Jones visits the building, you see them arming up. Because I'm like, yeah. I don't blame them. When you got cops like that running in the buildings and just being trigger happy, they're like, yo, we need to protect and arm ourselves.
Like in a system where basically, how to phrase this, where the law looks for a reason to make use of their weapons, like you might as well just also arm up because when they want to shoot you anyway.
Might as well. And I love Reuben's demeanor there because he's not looking at the person who they found the drugs on as to say, he's guilty, but he's like, we're gonna figure this out. And once Cleopatra gets involved, like that's when Mommy's people tried to set her up and take her out, but she was too smart for that. But again, it led to Reuben being injured and taken out of the film, and that's why we don't have him there until the very end. But we do get other people involved. The Johnson brothers.
Which I really like because they established them as like as minor characters in the first one. In the second one, they become essential characters to the plot.
Yes. So I like that they introduced them in the first movie, most likely just to keep a watch on Purdy, Officer Purdy. But they were so good that they come back and have a bigger role in the second film. And I like that their mother is played by the great Esther Rose. When Cleopatra came and visited them, she got a little small scene, but it was a pretty cool scene.
And Albert Popwell plays it fantastic.
Oh yeah, like we're used to seeing him in the Dirty Harry films, and different roles. But here he was just over the top, awesome. Him and the other guy who is not as well known as he is, Cairo Kenyatta as Melvin Johnson. But I thought they played off each other well. And when you sent that clip of them at stakeout at the front of the movie theater, I was like, yeah, those were words to live by.
Yeah, exactly. What was it? If I had $5, I would.
I would go in that dirty movie theater, watch them on that dirty old screen.
Yeah. No, because these are words to live by.
And I thought the chemistry between the two in both films were great.
And both had the best being held hostage situation I think that anybody ever had in the second one.
Oh yeah. You gotta love the dragon lady. Like, she's respectful in the way where her henchman was like, nah, we want to beat these guys up and treat them like shit.
I'd rather be held hostage by the dragon lady than by Mommy.
Yes, because Mommy, no.
And Mommy's a fatso.
Plus, all the men under mommy are treated like dirt. Whereas Dragon Lady, let's be honest, Dragon Lady had the better henchman.
Yeah.
Mendez was really good.
Absolutely. And she also like she did her job herself, like when she really wanted to get rid of somebody.
Oh yeah.
In general, I loved because the setting of the second one, and I also loved that it harkens back to, of course, some of the Shaw Brothers movie tropes, especially like with Duel, with when it gets a little bit more gimmicky than the first one, but still in a very serious way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna touch on that sword fight scene.
Yeah, that whole casino fight in the end of my neck.
Yeah. That's why I feel like that the casino fight trumps what we got at the end of the first movie, because while it's fun and I love that the black group showed up, Mommy wasn't as an imposing figure as Dragon Lady.
Yeah, with Mommy was more like her power, and once she got was rid of her henchman, then there was nothing left, and she was bolding, and she found a very a fitting end.
Yeah.
When she fell from grace.
and talking about that first scene of the first movie, the chase scene.
Oh yeah, in the canal,
I love it. It gave me flashbacks of when I watched To Live and Die in LA, and they have that chase through the canal on that ravine. I was like, damn man, that chase scene was just fantastic.
What I also really like, especially since the comparisons is so easy, since it's the same canal that did the chase scene in Terminator 2. I really like the the addition of the water when the canal was not dry.
She kept splashing the water.
Yeah, I really like it. I think that added to a lot of the action also. It was a very, very well shot chase scene.
Hey, them cars kept finding ways to avoid complete disaster to keep the chase going. I'm like, yo, how many times these guys avoid getting flipped over, and then they're like, oh, we back on wheels. Let's get back in the chase.
Actually, I think this, along with the scene where she has, when she's in the car and she chooses between the weapons she has stored in the car. These actually these actually I think the two most James Bondish scenes in the movie.
I love that she had that stash of guns.
Yeah, that was epic.
Cool as hell. Again, it's like you see stuff like that, and you like the possibilities. Like the first Cleopatra Jones, with all its flaws, is still a fantastic film.
It is. It absolutely is.
I love the story. I just love Cleopatra Jones. I think the cast to me is amazing. When you got Antonio Fargas and Bernie Casey in there,
especially as supporting players. I mean, the supporting cast is already so fantastic. Then you got a win on your head.
And we got to give props to Shelley Winters. I mean, she was an Academy Award winning artist, actress in the '60s, and for her to take this role when a lot of people look at it like, oh, that's a demeaning role. Like, why are you taking this role? And she's like, man, I'm gonna take this role. I'm gonna chew up all the scenery I'm in.
And she looked like she had a lot of fun with it. When you're there and you're getting your foot rub by beautiful girls.
Yeah, you get to beat up your henchmen and stuff for failing. And she had a great time.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it. It's just funny because of the second one with Shelley. Is her name Shelley?
Stella.
Stella Stevens. The second one with Stella Stevens is.
And that shows the difference between the two. Mommy is brutal, but in the more comical way, in the over the top way, whereas the Dragon Lady is serious.
Exactly, but also the fun thing is that they actually wanted to cast Hong Kongese actress, but they couldn't find an actress of that caliber that spoke fluently English, so they went with Stella Stevens, which was not a bad choice, especially since she had a casino like in Macau, and like Hong Kong, of course, a British colony, and Macau, a Portuguese colony, which is also fantastic because Macau is not the setting of a lot of movies. That is, of course, it's realistic that you have like a white villain there
running the casino.
Exactly. So this is like a realistic choice.
Just imagine if Robert De Niro got with her instead of Sharon Stone. They'd be both in power.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how deadly she is as a villain. Right from the start, you see how she don't play no game.
Yeah,
she was a big part on the boat scene when Chen was. First of all, I love the Johnson brothers. You know, what up? Hey, first of all, I already know we talking to Tamara Dobson, so Gary B already looking up her model photos on Reddit and all that stuff.
The model catalog.
Yes, if Gary B, if you have not seen Cleopatra Jones, the movies we're talking, definitely check them out. And trust me, you will be looking up the model photos.
For sure.
But the opening scene with the Johnson brothers being undercover, trying to get a deal with Chen on dope, it's unique in a way with how they had their money chopped in half and saying, hey, we need to build some form of trust or something.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the whole thing goes sour when the dragon lady shows up, and then Chen escapes, and the whole thing the boat get blown up, and they get captured by the dragon lady.
Yeah, absolutely loved the whole setup of the second movie, because that one felt really like an adventure movie, and I'm a big sucker for those. And the dialogue was written so funny, you know. Also, you have my quote, you know, we're operating on CPT, they're operating CPT, colored people.
We get there when we damn well feel like it. It's so true. Like there is certain family members, you tell them to get there, and they don't get there until like an hour. They're like, what the fuck? I am allergic to lateness. Like me personally, I've never been late. I've always been on time. Sometimes I'm there 15, 20, 30 minutes early because I just don't want to be late. There's people that be living across the street from their job and they come in a half hour late.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in German culture, when I have a fucking termin like to cut hair or anything, at 3 p.m. I'm being there early and then wait until it's exactly 3 and then go in.
At least you're there, right on time.
Because everything else is wrong.
Color person time, man. Like I said, I think they really tied the first.
Hey, Heroes After Dark.
Hold up, they're gonna be guests on the Comic Con crew tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. We had a great show last weekend. This weekend we're gonna have Heroes After Dark.
I mean, when I started the show from last week, first of all, is like, is this L with Hex or Chimcha with Hex or Chimta?
But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, man.
Awesome.
But yeah, the Johnson brothers really keep that tie from the first film going in, because we even get a new boss in the second Cleopatra film. We get a fucking Norman Fell. I remember him from Three's Company. You know, so seeing him and then like, we get a new boss. Yeah. So not the same boss from the first film, but more of a guy who's more into the agency side. So
and what I really laughed about the second one, like I said, the beginning was, you know, it really drew you in with already established minor characters from the first movie, and then when later Cleopatra Jones appears, it's, you know, it's like this big deal.
Man, I gotta say, when you brought up Carmen Sandiego earlier,
Yeah.
she had that Carmen Sandiego look with the hat and the suit, and one thing that always bothered me growing up watching this film is how darker she was in this one compared to the previous film. Like, I know she did all her makeup and stuff, but it always kind of threw me off. Like, the first movie she was a bit lighter in terms of brown skin, and then the second movie she's dark skin, and I was like, damn, that's jarring when you watch both movies back to back. But she still had the same excellence, the same beauty, and the same fashion from the first film, even except.
And of course, since the setting is Hong Kong and the co-producers are the Shaw brothers, she get a lot more chances to show off her martial arts skills.
I love when she goes through Hong Kong asking about, you know, where's the Chen at and stuff like that, and they go. She gets suckered into going upstairs, and then they attack her, but she holds her own, and she fights back, and they all go tumbling outside, out from the top balcony all the way to the ground, and she still got the hat on. I'm like, how she not lose that hat? Hey, like, yo, the fashion clothes stick to you like glue.
Yeah, I really liked then, when Ni Tian, who helped her to get there, then she also reappears and helps her, and it's like, what are you doing here? It's like, I just wanted to look if you can hold your...
Yeah, because she knew she was going into a dangerous territory. And I'm like, are you sure you want to go there? Like, hey, I'm definitely sure. And when she went there, like, yeah, she got in trouble because they set her up. So she saved the day.
I thought it was also funny.
I love that Cleopatra Jones, you know, compliments her on being there to save the day. Because, you know, she, in the first movie, she's always saying, I got this by myself. You know, I got this. But in this movie, she like, all right, you know, I got this person that helped me out. I can use that.
Yeah, it's her home turf. She has more intel than I do, and this makes the second movie so much better because she has really like a proper sidekick she can play off.
Yes, and you know, I think they work so well together, and I just love their chemistry. You know, on scenes where they're together and they're fighting, and the scene where she gets, you know, home invaded. And Ming and his men show up to capture her, but she holds her own while she's tied up. Fantastic scene.
Yeah, and the second movie is also a little bit more violent than the first one, and that's in a very good way. Like in terms of the violence, it almost gave me like really Eastern vibes. Like from the style, it always it reminded me a little bit about Enter the Dragon in some moments.
I even like how the mirrors are set up on certain scenes. You know, that showcase. You know, yeah, you see this character as a reflection,
and the action, the casino, like in the end, also like this movie has a very long final action scene.
Yeah, longer than the first.
Yeah,
but I think it was used so well.
Exactly. Like I was totally here for it.
And I like going back to like the Dragon Lady and her seriousness. I like when she sets up the meet with her people, you know, who each have different territories, and she like, yo, you know, somebody made deal with Chen. He went outside. So one of you guys are culpable of this. And it turns out, you know, the one guy that was culpable of, he got dealt with in a way that you like, oh, she's serious about this. And it sets her up to be such a menacing villain that you can't wait to see her and Cleopatra Jones have this face to face.
Yeah.
And the fact that it doesn't happen until the last half hour of the film, it's like the build up to them finally having this face to face meet. It's like you're just like, this is awesome. You want to see these two meet up more, but I love how they just continue to slow build it until that end.
And you just wait for the crescendo.
Yeah, this film, the second film, just elevates everything from the first.
The second
And
movie is way smoother. I still think that with some editing choices, you could have made it even better. And the camera sometimes look a little bit too flat. So with different cameramen, like these movies they are both awesome movies that I highly recommend. But it's like so sad that they stopped after the second movie, and I truly think just with a little bit creative change behind the scene, because on scene everything was great, that we could have gotten more Cleopatra Jones movies.
yeah, and I hate the fact that they attribute the failure because of the decline of black exploitation.
Yeah.
And this movie has none of black exploitation. Like compared to the first film, this movie doesn't have none of the black exploitation.
Exactly. Yeah, this is like the first. I wouldn't even say that the first movie is a black exploitation movie.
They
It's
label it black exploitation because of Bernie Casey and Antonio Fargas, who starred in other black exploitation films. That's the only reason why they like to label it as black exploitation. But I feel like the overallness of Cleopatra Jones, it's not black exploitation.
Yeah, it's like a spy movie in a spy movie in a black setting, but not. I wouldn't call it black exploitation. And the second movie is a spy movie in Hong Kong.
And the only persons you have that are black are Cleopatra and the Melvin and the Johnson brothers. Yeah. And the Johnson brothers are them getting expanded roles in this film is great because, like you said earlier, like they were in the best hostage situation, and like that's where he wanted that's where the Dragon Lady is like, yeah, I'm ruthless, but I'm respectful. Take these girls and go get a bath. And the whole thing with that was like, oh man, I can't wait. We got these girls. They think they get on, being like, no, we're not like that.
Yeah, but I also really like, of course, since like they're undercover there, and the basically is like, hey, we still have to play like a role, so we have to roll.
Yeah, we still gotta do business.
We still gotta.
This is like one movie where that undercover operative was never blown. Like they still was operating on business, so it was never really blown. They were just hostages and treated pretty well.
Yeah, because if it would have played, it would have been like the death sentence. So they played it very well, of course, to save their own skin, and they did fantastic. Yeah, like I said, that those two characters were so much elevated from the first one in a fantastic way.
Oh yeah,
almost where I was like, I would watch like a spin-off movie with those two.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like those two having their own film, whether it's blaxploitation setting or just continuing their adventures as undercover agents, because the chemistry between them is so great. And, and you can still have Cleopatra Jones, chime in on that because again, she's got an obligation to the mother. That's the role to like, hey, I need to borrow your sons, and so she needs to make sure that they keep their heads on straight, so she don't disappoint the mom.
I mean, in general, this would have also been a very good franchise for a comic book.
Oh, the fact that a lot of stuff from that era could have been explored more in comic book format. Like I think it was Fred Williamson that did a spy movie. That could have been explored. Mm-hmm. And I remember Fred Williamson talking about how he had a contract to do 3 James Bond-like films, but he only did 2 of them, and then they mashed them together to be one film. Just to say, we did accomplish, we did 2 films, and we'll just pay you the money for that third that we ain't gonna do.
And this is also like the sad thing that Dobson, like, she was had like a raw deal with all the studios, and she also was very openly about that. That she wasn't treated right, like financially, and also like in terms of how they handled her further career, because after that you might think, hey, this is a woman for the big screen. But she went to TV.
TV, you know, she did the movie Chain. The fact that she did 2 movies with what's her name? Was Stella Stevens. Because she was in the Amazons.
I haven't seen Amazon. I think that was her last movie what I read, but I have not seen that one.
And Chain Heat, I know, is with Linda Blair and Sybil Danning. I've seen that one before. But yeah, she had the presence to be a big time star.
Yeah, and she also sadly passed away way too young because of pneumonia.
And she another one that suffers from multiple sclerosis.
Yeah,
which we talked about with Lola Falana. Lola Falana is still alive.
Luckily, yeah.
Luckily, but we didn't get that opportunity with Tamara. You know, she got multiple sclerosis in 2000, and then she passed in 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, like I said, she could have been just as big as Pam Grier.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I really think there should. I don't know if there's editions in the US. I think here there were some DVD editions. I watched both movies, like I rented them on Amazon. But I really thought that, hey, you could do. There's so much color in this movie, especially from her clothing and like in the casino, like very bright colors. I think that both movies would really shine like with a 4K HDR release.
Sure would, man. The colors pop in both films, and the final fight scene in the casino is awesome. But before we talk that, we gotta talk the sword fight between Dragon Lady and
because this is such a great setting, you know, in there, and suddenly spikes come out of the floor to build like a ring where the fighting takes place, and you know, then she says, you know, she takes like care of her own business, and
Shin was already at a disadvantage because they done beat him up and had him tied up. So
they probably prepared him.
Yeah, so when he had to fight her, he was already at like 50%.
The only thing missing was that they just throw him hog-tied in there.
So he was already at 50% health, and she was at 100%. So he was already at a disadvantage.
She just cashed in the money in the bank.
But the way they shot that scene was fantastic, and then that was probably the goriest scene when they showed his body on the spikes.
Yeah, that one reminded me really like from Enter the Dragon. But like it's a very memorable scene.
It just shows that the Dragon Lady was nothing to be messed with. You know, she was serious. She was deadly. She could be nice to you in the casino, but you do not want to cross the Dragon Lady. And that's the difference between her and Mommy. Mommy, once she lost her henchman, she was completely out of her element. Dragon Lady will still fight.
Yeah, she was able to stand her own.
And I love that while Cleopatra was there, she thought that, you know, she could handle the whole thing. The girl that was with one of the Johnson brothers, she saw she saw the Dragon Lady for who she was, and she wanted to help. She ended up getting killed.
Yeah.
And Cleopatra got captured. And I like the scene where Cleopatra was surrounded by the henchmen and the car chasing her. You know, because she was out of her element in terms of, you know, she had the little gun and she had on the dress and she had to run in those shoes. But she still handled her business and was able to take out the car, but she had to give herself up because everybody was just there waiting.
Yeah, in the second movie, they really raised the stakes also for her. And in the second movie, it also, like, for an audience, like, in the first movie, always, which was not a mistake because I really thought it was cool, you always, you know, she got this.
Yeah.
In the second movie, it's like, I wonder how she will find her way out of that one.
She couldn't. And that's why having that sidekick helped her a lot.
Yeah.
And then we get, like you said earlier, the longest battle in the casino.
That one was epic.
We get motorcycle action, guns blazing. Cleopatra Jones is blazing with her machine gun. It was just awesome.
Yeah, the only thing missing was like, a bronze war, like Batista as a bronze warrior, like.
Shout out to the man with the iron fist.
Yes. That was
but yeah, the casino shootout was amazing. And then we get the fight between the Dragon Lady and Cleopatra Jones. And then you got Mendez versus Tay Lane. I thought those were some great bits. And like I said, underrated henchman he was. As the Dragon Lady.
Yeah.
Like, he was serious, he was menacing, and he just had this look about himself that
he had like this, he had this this poker face cool factor as a
he just had that cool looking henchman. They're like,
almost like the assassin in A Better Tomorrow 2.
Yes, I was just thinking about that film too. I was like, man, because somebody posted the clip of Better Tomorrow too. I was like, man, I feel like watching Better Tomorrow now.
Well, apparently we share the same brains.
But yeah, he just had that cool factor that made him such a great henchman, and props to them for having like a really good side henchman for the Dragon Lady. And the battle between Dragon Lady and Cleopatra was top notch.
Absolutely, and
like I love that she grabbed the sword because that's where she excelled at in that sword battle. And Cleopatra had to just keep moving, jumping through hoops and stuff, and find a way to avoid the sword. It was just a fantastic choreograph.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to rewatch it since this movie plays with a lot of movie tropes that I absolutely love. I love Oriental settings. I love good spy movies. We have to talk about James Bond in the future, which say Timothy Dalton is the best James Bond of all time.
Man, it's a damn shame he got robbed of doing more movies because I watched License to Kill so many damn times as a kid that I thought that, man, Timothy Dalton don't get no love.
I think he's closest to the novels, and
he is. And
also, I think both movies he did. I also like from how it was played my favorite Bonds. Of course, since it's playing in Austria, parts of, and the other one also very Caribbean, which are like.
Many people like to say, License to Kill is nothing more than a Miami Vice style movie. I'm like, stop it, man. Stop it.
Timothy Dalton is fantastic in everything. In the back, we've got Flash Gordon. Amazing, and of course,
loved him in Rocketeer.
Yeah, and Hot Fuzz.
Oh yes, that's right. Somebody posted Hot Fuzz earlier on Instagram.
In the future, we should do the Cornetto trilogy.
But yeah, like we definitely gotta talk to the Dalton Bonds and Bonds in general. But
but Cleopatra Jones, both movies, both movies are that kind of movies. Because we are doing this. We already, talking in the comments from last week when we had this great comment that we really brought
Lola Falana,
like on the radar of people. And also here, Cleopatra Jones, both are big studio movies from Warner Brothers. That Warner Brothers later on did not treat like big movies, and both really deserve to be rediscovered. Cleopatra Jones pops up every now and then, but I don't think it has the status that it deserves.
And like I said, like Tamara Dobson should be talked about just as much as Pam Grier.
Exactly. She didn't get all the opportunities that Pam Grier did. Sadly, also her health status didn't allow her later on to have like a rejuvenation like Pam Grier had, but she would have deserved it the same as Pam Grier did, and I'm happy that Pam Grier at least got handed like all the roses that she deserves.
Yeah, because like Pam Grier was able to come back in the 90s and people got a bigger appreciation of her then.
And also, I criticize Quentin Tarantino a lot because he's just copying shit that is better. But he really brought some fantastic actors back and gave them a comeback chance. And he also did so with Pam Grier.
Oh yeah. And you kind of wish Tamara would have gotten that treatment as well.
Yes.
Again, the criticism of her being wooden is stupid.
Yeah.
She was charismatic and confident, and every time she was on screen, you could not take your eyes off of her.
Exactly, and I even think that if she would have agreed to a nude scene, it would have been to the detriment of her character, because I think her character has like this, this superhuman aspect to it, so that she's pretty, but you never sexualize her in the movie.
And just think, I was going through the comments on certain videos, and women was saying when they were young, they wanted to be like her. The afro, the clothes, the confidence. They admired and wanted to be just like her. And that was just a lost opportunity for them to continue to use this woman as a way not only to film more films, but to get more people behind her, and to see that you can build future generations just based on how her presence was.
Yeah, it almost, with Warner Brothers is like, oh, we're creating like a proper black role model here. Shut it down.
Shut it down. That we were talking off stage last week after the amazing Comic Call Crew episode we had about how every time we get some black leader or somebody that rise up to the occasion, the government sees that and just want to eliminate them because they don't want no positive figures for black people. And that's the same with Tamara. Like, you got this positive black female that is not objectifying herself and has this aura about herself that brings positivity, black power, black love, and then like, nah, we don't want no more of that.
Yeah, it's a pity, not just because of that, but also because in the end we were robbed of a potential fantastic movie franchise that more people would talk about today. People would see on par with others ancient franchises. It's like the same here in Germany. Like in Germany there was like Mr. Dynamite, which was like a German pulp character from pulp like books, and they did one movie with Baxter. Also the guy who was immediately like I think he also played Tarzan, like a former famous wrestler that then was brought to Germany and became more famous here. That he played like a fantastic agent. We also think like we would like to see like also more German like agent movies, which would be more interesting. But yeah.
You know how I feel about remakes, though.
Yeah, it's like
because I would rather them remake it with a different name and a different character. Just take some of the aesthetics of Cleopatra Jones and create a new character for it.
In general, I think that despite, of course, Mission Impossible, which plays by its own rules, I still think that we are ready for more Asian movies again. That this is like a genre that could be on the verge of comeback, especially like now with the whole world situation. That you get a lot more opportunities. So to have the Russians back as the bad guys, which is great because now finally the Germans are not the bad guys anymore.
Yeah, make the Russians the bad guys
again. Yeah.
They were the bad guys in the Jackie Chan films in the 90s. Yeah. Tall ass Russians.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if they remake it, like I said, the only problem I have is if they try and do it with modern sensibilities.
Both villains were lesbians, so.
Both films were lesbians, but they didn't force it down your throat. Like you could just see it, and you saw a little bit with Dragon Lady at the beginning, but they didn't like force it down your throat throughout the entire.
Not on our throat, but they forced themselves from the other way.
But that's the thing. Like nowadays, they will push their agendas way too much.
Yeah,
and that's what I worry about when it comes to modern remakes.
And this is the sad thing, because I think like this pushing things on people gets the exact opposite reaction that they want.
All you're gonna do is just make me watch the old one.
Yeah, it's just make a character sympathetic and great looking, and like I really think that maybe a lot more wrestling bookers should go to Hollywood and not just wrestlers, because Hollywood lost the ability to put their own characters over.
Yes, they lost that ability. They lost the creativity of just coming up with stuff. Like I said, cocaine needs to return and fuck Hollywood up so they can get some creative fucking movies, because the shit they coming out with today ain't shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because every fucking Hollywood protagonist right now feels like John Cena being like forced down your throat. Almost seems like did like Vince McMahon also write the Hollywood scripts?
Vince McMahon writing Hollywood scripts, bro. That'd be crazy. Wait, Vince McMahon and Vince Russo. That'd be double the crazy.
Oh, fuck.
It'd be worse than cocaine. But yeah, both films are fantastic. I feel like watching them again, because after I watched Cleopatra Jones, I was like, damn, I feel like giving it a second watch. I love these films, and I'm glad we was able to discuss them. Like I said, awesome female protagonist, and you know. But we ain't done with Kung Fu, because tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning my time, 5 o'clock his time, we will talk the final film of Blaxploitation Month. We will talk Black Belt Jones, starring the great legendary Jim Kelly.
I was afraid he would run out of windows to throw people.
That's my favorite scene, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yes, we're gonna talk that, and then we're gonna take a week off because I got stuff happening here, so I won't be able to do a show next week. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna keep the Blaxploitation theme going, because we got to talk the Shaft franchise. We got to talk that. Rest in peace, Richard Roundtree. So we finally gonna do Shaft. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. If we would have a show next week, I would have suggested we should push Dune in like the Lynch one. Since next week, finally, Dune 2 Part 2. Finally. I'm still afraid they're gonna push it back somehow.
Alright, so before we go off, I just want to show this. This is one of the books that, of course, I will say this is all Jeff, because, you know, he's got a new crush. He's got a new crush.
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Oh, wait. This way. Yeah, this is what he got from her. And you say, to my favorite victim, BB. So this will be coming your way.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I hope that Sarah can deal with it.
I got this for you. Our favorite actor, the guy that we need to talk about some more. I was like, let me get this for my boy VV.
Yeah. Ernie Hudson.
So it came in the mail yesterday. I was like,
Nice.
I will be sending it out to you.
I also still have to send you a okay. Like I already have everything ready. So I need to pack it.
Yeah, so those 2 books, I will be sending them out to you. And happy to get that for you, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow when we talk Black Belt Jones. Also, Comic Hall crew will be back. We got Heroes After Dark. Shout out to the crew. They are here. They're going to join us, 5 members at least. And we're going to have a great time. And if you have not checked out last week's episode of the Comic Hall crew, make sure you check that out because it was another fantastic special with Rico, Black Key Comics.
Still say the most undersubbed comic book YouTube channel.
And we will appreciate more subs and more views. But, you know, we're going to keep on trucking. And I think after tomorrow, next week, we're going to have the Tribe creators, Todd Johnson and Larry Stroman on. I'm hoping I can get things done to try and jump on that, but I'm not 100% sure.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, big things coming up for the Comic Hall crew. And do you have anything to share?
Would have, but I think I already put everything away. However, today I finally got from the US, from Amazon, the WrestleMania 10 ladder match, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon box set. It's like an Amazon exclusive. And I also posted on Instagram, like, this is the match that made me a wrestling fan. WrestleMania 10 was the first WrestleMania that I watched as a kid on German TV. Which in German TV, it was not pay-per-view, it was just, we got it way later than the US, but it was like on regular cable. And this set is just fantastic. You have both intercontinental titles, like, and the outfits that they really wore, and great backdrop from the WrestleMania 10 in Madison Square Garden. And, you know, this match, even though, of course, modern ladder matches are way more spectacular.
They did it in a simplistic way that still drew you in.
It's I think that the storytelling in this one is so good. You have spots, but it's not a spot fest.
Yes. And that's why I miss about those early ladder matches. Yeah. It wasn't spot fests. It was storytelling with certain spots in it.
And even, you know, when you watch the one that did a SummerSlam later, they even improved on the first one. But still,
I like that match a bit more because of Razor's edgier style. Mm-hmm. Because he almost wrestled that match like a heel.
Yeah, and but the first one is still the first one. You know, when I watched it as a kid, it's like, wow, that's different.
And think about it. You got that match, and you got Brett versus Owen on the same show.
I just rewatched WrestleMania. When I ordered the figure, I immediately rewatched WrestleMania 10, and the Brett versus Owen match is still so fantastic. And also think later, you know, that with Lex Luger against Yokozuna, then Bret Hart against Yokozuna, the ending was so amazing. You know, when Bret won the title from the big evil fake Japanese. Rest in peace, Rodney. And then, you know, everyone was celebrating, and you see Owen coming out and shaking and say, "Hey, I just beat you."
I know, man. It's awesome storytelling.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you tell a story. Somebody just beat that person, and then that person goes win the title. It's just like, damn, man. It just started Owen's rise to the title, man, and I miss those days, man. I really miss the days when you had great storytelling throughout an entire wrestling company.
I think from the Next Generation era that WrestleMania 10 was like the highlight. Later, it pretty much became shit, and you know, I'm saying this. I was a big Diesel mark character,
and I still say that. I saw a video with with Kevin talking about Bret Hart and how he sold that corner turnbuckle bump.
Yeah.
Bret Hart made sure everybody looked good, no matter if he wins or loses.
Exactly.
He made sure everybody looked great. And I always say that Royal Rumble 95 match where Diesel was the champion, Bret did everything in his power to make Diesel not only look like a great champion, but to make sure the fans didn't boo him and choose Bret.
Which is so funny because even though Shawn Michaels is a good friend of Kevin Nash, like he did not.
Shawn Michaels is always out for himself, no matter what. Like he can sell, but when he sells, it's overselling. When Bret sells, it's realistic selling.
Yeah.
Because he makes his opponents look devastating.
Yeah, Bret Hart was like a different animal at that time, and this is like when I started watching wrestling. This, of course, it's like your first WrestleMania, but this was for me the special time of WWF, and of course later my love for wrestling got rejuvenated when I started watching WCW. And this is like where my heart and truly lies with WCW, but still WrestleMania 10 has this special place in my heart. And tomorrow, which is way better for us here in Europe, I can watch the Elimination Chamber at 10:30.
Yes. So we do our show, and then a couple hours later, you watch the Elimination Chamber.
Actually, in the morning, I'm watching it, then we do the show. I'm gonna get up.
I forgot. That's right.
Yeah. Because for you, it's like 2 a.m. I think.
Yeah, it is. It's super early. I'll be sleeping.
Yeah. But now, finally watching P&E live. It's gonna be a great year since like in Paris and Berlin. And Saudi Arabia is also on the time, so it's like I'm seeing a lot of things live this year.
Nice. So looking forward to tomorrow. And with that in mind, I want to thank everybody that showed up. Gary B, probably done already downloaded all of Tamara Dobson's.
He's already like one hand on the mouse, the other hand.
Heroes After Dark, Kenneth Bird, and Perry, who showed up.
Lurker himself.
Ultimate Lurker. So thanks for showing up, and whoever watches the replay, hey, we will appreciate your comment. Shout out to Miss Soul, who left that Lola Falana comment last week.
Thank you, and to, of course, Damien Sleeperita also for the comment.
Yes.
And otherwise, gonna see you tomorrow.
Have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.